There we go. I think we're up and running. How's everybody doing? Market's being kind of finicky, isn't it? Ed, thank you very much for inviting me over. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it very much. So, let's see here. I don't know how many people in here are members of Hit and Run Candlesticks or who is not. What I want to do real quick is give you a link. I've got some questions that I want to answer today, and they're questions from folks that wrote the questions in my YouTube channel. I put out an awful lot of information there, talking about just trading in general and the scanner here. So if anyone is interested, you can leave me comments down there, and I'll try to answer those. Sometimes I answer back just simple typing if it's a simple question, but if it's a bit more complicated, I'm not much of a typer, so what I'll do is I'll answer questions in a video sometimes. And I've got a couple I want to answer today like that. Okay, so first of all, let's start with, does anyone have any questions at all about what we do or anything like that? And in the meantime, a couple of charts I want to go look at that I'm kind of interested in is PIN. That's one I'm very interested in. In fact, you know what? I'm going to buy PIN. So let's do this. I'm going to buy this right away while we're here. So here's what I do. I'm going to type PIN in here. I'm going to get to see, we're going to look at April. I'm looking for plenty open interest. That's plenty open interest. 70, around 70 delta, so I'm thinking right here, around 1875 is the bid. There's 1935, the ask, so 70. So we're going to click on that. Click on that. There we go, it did it. And we're going to put an order in to buy that. So I'm looking at the April 80s. I also want to remind everybody that what I do, I share. It is not meant to be any kind of a recommendation whatsoever. I just simply share my trading. That's all. It's like a diary. It keeps me honest, to tell you the truth. And if you are interested, I'm going to go over here and grab another link for you. If you are interested, you can see where we post the trading results. There it is right there. I'm going to post this page out there. There we are. So again, what I do is just simply sharing what I do here. So that's it. All right. Let's see. Joe, you're asking here. I wanted to, when you scans, I'm getting LTA, I'm not getting the same type of results. Well, Joe, we probably need to see about syncing up our scans there. Right here, right now is not the place to do that, but in the trading room, I'll be more than happy to do that. Just because here I'm limited to time, okay? But I'd be more than happy to try to sync those up with you. Let's see, Mike, any thoughts on end of the year Santa rally, quad witching? You know, quad witching on Friday. You know, Mike, that's a really, really good question. And I know a lot of traders put a lot of thought into such things as Santa rally or quad witching or this or that or the other, or you know, all this information that we own this stuff. We know where to get it. We can go find all this. Truthfully speaking, you know, man, all I do is follow the chart. Man, I kid you not. I simply follow the chart. And if if Santa Claus comes to Wall Street, good for Santa Claus, I guess. Good for Wall Street. If Santa skips over Wall Street, well, Santa skips over. It doesn't change the chart. In other words, if somebody was to say, Rick, I guarantee you there's going to be a Santa Claus rally, that would not change one single thing that I do. Not one single thing. It's still going to be, just like I bought a pin here, what it's going to be is the alerts coming up on my LTA scanner, doing different things that I look for, mostly around that trap sort of play. When I see it alerting, then that's what I go look at. A couple of my requirements is I am always looking for a trend, and it's in the scanner. It's called Road to Wealth, initials, Road to Wealth, so RTW trend. There's actually two of them. The one I use mostly is the faster trend, where the 3 is greater than the 8 and the 8 is greater than the 17. Here, I can put the 3 up there now. There you go. So it's going to look like that. The 3 above the 8 and the 8 above the 17. There's another one in there, slower, which I use it, but not on every scan, which about 99% of the scans I'll use this faster one. But honestly, you know, I couldn't tell you if Santa's coming. I really couldn't tell you. I know it's coming to my house. I know that. But I couldn't tell you if it's coming to Wall Street. So, hi, Lee. How are you? TC, you want some assistance with how to open account. Well, Tony, I'm not let's see here. And how to download the scanner. Well, I'll tell you what, Tony, you're asking a lot right there for this hour. If you hang around when we're finished here, I promise you, Ed will be here, and he will help you with that. He'll help you get it opened, and I assume you mean LTA, because you also say how to download your scanner. But I guarantee you, Ed will be here and assist you on that. And help you with everything you need to make that happen, okay? So please, be patient. Let me get finished, and then Ed will come on with that. Let's see, Jason, hi, okay. Everybody's saying hi, cool. Yes, I bought PIN. I took the PIN entry. Yes, I did. So Ed's asking, are you taking this PIN entry? Answer's yes. So let's talk about that. And please ask questions about this. Absolutely. Am I thinking anything I don't cover here? Please ask. So the scanner was popping up PIN, and I actually saw it before we came on here. I was looking at everything, and I said, you know what? I'm interested in that. And so I got on here, and I noticed the scanner was putting in a couple more pops, you know, letting me know that it was making a new day high. So I just couldn't stand it. I had to buy it. So that's what I did. So what I look for is, let's get rid of this. We don't need that bar up there. So again, what I'm looking for is a trend. I'm looking for an overall chart pattern that makes sense to me, and then a path to profits. And since I'm just going to jump to a monthly chart so we can see the whole pin chart, okay? So now I can clearly see that we're making new highs up here, all-time new highs. There's nothing over here that we're fighting against, you know, half a year ago or 5 years ago or anything. Last month, I can clearly see we're making some new highs. So to me, anything making new highs, the path up is pretty much clear. The runway is clear. Now, that does not make it so that it's not going to, let's see, path is clear. That doesn't mean that it can't pull back. I just mean there's no heavy-duty resistance up there. That's all it is. And then as it moves up, I will take profits. I'll take profits. Which, here's a question. Let me go find it here. I have a couple of questions. You know what? When I get to that, let's just start at the top, and I'll go through those questions, okay? And I'll make sure I cover pen. Anyone else have anything out there? Anyone at all? Inlock is one that was coming up on the scanner last week several times. And there was a few of us in the trading room that bought Inlock. And it looks like it's really trying to break out here. Currently up only 4.9%. It's not a ton. But you know, a little bit of a pop here. We get through that 50-period moving average. I see this thing running up to 20 and a half maybe more. And based on the road to wealth rules, I'll be taking profits on the way up. Let's see here. Jason's asking, does XLE worry me? Whoops. No. And let's see. No, XLE doesn't worry me at all. So XLE is an energy stock, and PIN is a gaming stock. I'm not sure why I would put that, put that question the way you did. They're not related, in my opinion. Either way you look at it, Jason, I'm a die-hard chart follower. I truly am. And I really think that, back in the day, I used to try to figure out all this stuff with the market. And, should I be in this if this over here is not working? Or should I be in this trade if the wind is blowing from south-southwest? I used to try to figure all that out. Again, I just simply trade the trade. And, I ask myself, does that chart look bullish to me? Well, it broke out. It held. It consolidated. It's making a J-hook continuation pattern. We've got these two bars here, which let's see if it works. Not really. These two bars here and these four bars, the last four bars, this is it's in the family of the Morningstar signal, and that is one of my favorite chart patterns, absolutely. In fact, I think it is my favorite chart pattern, is the Morningstar, and this is in the Morningstar family. This is a trap coming out of the trap. So I've got to ask myself, why wouldn't I trade it? And there's no reason why I wouldn't. If I'm wrong, I have a protective stop on it. So, no, I'm not concerned about XLE. Dick is asking, take a look at MC, that one, SMTC. That looks pretty nice, Dick. I like that. Nice trend up. I like the fact that we rallied up here. We've kind of pushed back. Kind of a little scoop pattern is what we've got here. And I'm going to put a line right there. This indicates resistance. Anything over that would indicate support. And it looks like we came down and tested. Looks like the buyers or support is winning. So that's a pretty fair looking chart to me. Seems to meet a lot of my criteria there. Yeah. Now, it's important that you set up a plan and you trade that plan. That is very, 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 very important. And I don't know how your plan is set up, but that's something you might want to do. And what I mean by a plan is just establishing a stop, making sure you're not chasing, establishing a way to take profits, and adhering to your stop. That's important. And then, overall, make sure the chart has some, make sure it's worthy, which it is, and I assume it is because you're looking at it. Totally agree with you there. Let's see. Here, I need to keep an eye on a couple of things here. Okay. A is asking about ENPH. That's a nice chart, ENPH. It is. maybe you might want to share your plan, and and that would show, that well, I think it's important that we show our work. When we're in school, teacher might give us a math problem, and if you just put the answer down, they want to see how you got there, what was your work. And I think that's very important with trading. Show your work. And that's where your plan, what is it you like about the chart? Where would you not like the chart? That might be where your stop is. And what do you see for a path to profits, maybe? HZ, what is that? NP. And again, show your plan. We've got a breakout. I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole personally, but that's just me. We have a downtrend. We've broken out. Big wick up here. Again, show your plan and maybe establish where you are. I'm guessing you might already be in this one. Just a clue, maybe. I don't know. No worries, Jason. No worries at all. Ed, DK, you were right. DKNG is triggering a buy signal here. And I was in this the other day, and here I want to, where is, that's something a lot of people ask, what I did. I just wrote down, what I did with DKNG. And I had a lot of people on YouTube ask me that. I'm going to move this out of the way. What did I do with DKNG? And I closed DKNG is what I did with it, because I didn't like this candle here. And at the time, I had too many positions on, so I had to make a decision. And I hope everyone understands that there can be, every trader is their own boss. And there's all kinds of backseat traders to the trader themselves. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do the other thing? Why'd you get out of it? Why didn't you just put trailing stops up there? Why? Because it's my money. Because it's my trade. That's why. And I think that's important for everybody to take that attitude. It's your trade, your money. Trade it how you want, and tell anyone that tells you how you should be doing to butt out. It's none of their business. And I'm very, very serious about that. You trade your trade. You have your rules. You have your gut feelings. And you should trade by that. And that's what I do. I'm pretty much that way. So DKNG looked pretty good here. Well, I didn't like it right here. It was not worth it to see if it was going to work out or not. Was not worth it. Now, I'm a pretty short-term trader. I'll hold trades for some time. I've been holding a couple of them now for a couple of weeks. I don't mind that. But when I'm looking at a trade and I buy a trade, and this may be a bit, I'm just going to talk about it. Let's do this. When I buy a trade, I expect the trade to go up. If I don't buy it, if I don't think it's going up. Now, what you have less control of is exactly when it's going to go up. So if I buy this trade and I see a candle like this, I got out of it because I was fearful it might move down. I wasn't as comfortable with the trade. So I stepped out of it. Again, my choice, my money, my trade. And it is very important for, I'm just going to pick on you, Dodger, because you're the last name I see there. I think it's important for Dodger to trade Dodger's trade. Don't trade my trade. You can't trade Ed's trade. You have to trade your trade. And you have to finesse your account sometimes. And that's what I do. I finesse. I use a lot of finesse on my account sometimes. Sometimes I'll take positions off. Sometimes I'll add positions. Sometimes I'll close positions just because I have a feeling. So anyway, that's had a lot of people ask me about DKNG. And Ed is pointing out that it is triggering. Absolutely. Totally agree. DKNG is looking pretty good here. Now, here's how I will use the scanner. Okay. Well, and actually, let's pull this one down. This is how I'll use it. If, I'm sitting here for the day and I'm trading and I'm working, if I see DKNG popping up like this, like Sono happens to be right now, then I'll come over and look at it. And if the candle looks a bit like this right here, and in this particular case, by the time I see it, it may be breaking out. That's when I may choose to buy it. I generally, well, not generally, I'll guarantee you, I buy because of what the scanner is telling me to do. Let me back up. The scanner doesn't tell me what to do. The scanner tells me that DKNG is making a new day high. And then I can go look at it and decide if I want the chart. But for me, to buy DKNG right here with a doji, that's not the way I enter trades. I enter trades when buyers are stepping in. Many times, that's very late, according to some people. Some people are buying DKNG right now, but if it starts showing me strength, I'll buy it, which means I'm late. And that doesn't bother me so much. I want to make sure the chart is moving. And even though the chart pattern looks good right now, when I see buyers coming in, I'll just tuck myself right next to those buyers, right next to those buyers, and we'll see if we can't run up. That's one of the reasons why when I buy a chart, the plan is that it moves relatively soon. That's part of why that happens. Now, it doesn't work out every time, not at all, but that's one way I use the scanner there. So, thanks for asking there, Ed. Hey, let me get these questions out of the way. They keep bugging me over here. Excuse me. Had somebody named Tico. I think it's pronounced Tico. It's from Brazil. He says, can you tell me if you always close 100% of the trade he's on your target, or do you also trade without a fixed target like SMA or the V-stop? First of all, a target has nothing to do with a V-stop or SMA for me. An SMA means a simple moving average. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. So let's take a look at AMD, because AMD is primed for me to pull a little bit off the table today at some point. So what I do is I trade with goals, so I know how much I have to make every day, every week, every month to meet my 12-month goal. And my 12-month goal is to double my money. So I know what I need to do. So as the price moves up, I'll take some off the table. Again, it has nothing to do with the V-stop, has nothing to do with the SMA moving average or any moving average. It's all about meeting my goals. And if I don't sell at all, then I'll sell another piece on a little bit higher as it moves up like that. Another question, let's see. Oh, they're asking me if I buy at midpoint or any other place. And I almost always buy at the midpoint on the option. Let me pull this down for you right here. I almost always buy at the midpoint. Now, here's where I don't, okay? But I start at the midpoint. If I put the order in at the midpoint for $18.65, and if the midpoint changes to 1866 or 1867, something like that, and this happens often, if I want in the chart, I chase it up. I'll do it once, maybe twice. If I still want the chart, I get tired of chasing, I actually will go above the midpoint. I'll adjust the price to above the midpoint. Quite honestly, I don't care if I pay $18.60 or $18.65 for it. Does not matter to me. I'm looking for this chart to move up higher. I don't waste my time with pennies, but that's just my way of trading. So I always 100% start with midpoint, but a lot of times I have to bump it higher to get filled. So thanks for that question. And let me put this back where it was. Oh, there we go. And that was from somebody called A1 Travel World. And let's see here. Let's see. Here's something from Larry. Larry asks, when you speak of taking profits on the way up, that presumes you have multiple contract trades. So he means multiple contracts on. So if you start with a small account, taking profits would mean closing the whole trade, or would you buy less expensive stocks in order to buy more contracts? Here's something I found, okay? The answer is not necessarily jumping to less expensive stocks for this reason. When I first started the Road to Wealth account in 2018 for only $5,000, I found myself in this situation exactly. And again, I'm trading with goals. So I know what my goal is. I don't care if it reaches some magical target. To me, it's about making the money that I set out to make. So if I could only buy one contract, just one, if it reached my goal, I would close that out. It did what I wanted it to do. Now here's where a backseat trader to me would come in and say, well, why don't you just raise your stop? And my answer is, well, it's my money, it's my trade. I'll trade the way I'm comfortable. And I urge each and every trader. In fact, you have to trade the way you're uncomfortable. And if it's comfortable for you to raise that stop, have it go up, well, by golly, keep doing that. Absolutely. But I have found a way to trade that works for me. And I'm sure Dodger has found a way to trade that works for Dodger. Same with Cal, Ed, Jason, A, Dick, and I can't see any more names. So it's what works for you. There's no absolute right way at all. Just absolutely no right way at all. As long as you're making money, that's the right way. That's the right way. And thank you, everybody. I think I just covered all the questions there. Thank you. So let's see. Cal, if you just put CPRT long, I'm going to assume you're just sharing that with everybody. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. If you have a question, please feel free to ask. Okay. Roger, Ed or Rick, I just signed up for the LTA trial, seeing duplicate symbols on some of the default alert. Is there a way to eliminate duplicates? Also, what is the best way to get up to speed with LTA? Okay, Dodger, so let's answer the first question. No, you cannot remove or you can't eliminate duplicates. Take RAD, for instance. RAD. Or take Sono. The reason they're duplicates is they have reached a new day high. So RAD reached a new day high. It reached another new day high, another new day high. But a penny will change it. Trust me, if Ed was to come on and say, I've eliminated that, I would fight him tooth and nail on it. That is a huge plus when you know how to read it and to understand it. And when is the best way? What is the best way to get up to speed on LTA? Honestly, if you belong to Hit Run Candlesticks, if you're in the trading room, then you can certainly ask questions there. I'll do everything I can to get you up to speed. Also, if you hang around after when I log off, Ed will be here, and he will be more than happy to help you. Also, at 2 p.m. Wednesday? At 2 p.m. on Wednesdays, Ed does a class every 2 p.m. on Wednesdays here in this room that will be more than happy to answer your questions. And if you just let him know you're going to be in this room, he'll come in here any time of day and help you. The service is superb. Okay. Dick, since you didn't put a ticker symbol, I don't know which one you're talking about. Paul, what are the dots? These dots, this is what we call the Trendicator right here. And I'm going to go look at my pins. I'm long pins. I just want to keep an eye on that for a second. This is what we call Trendicator. Also, I'm going to get rid of this. Too much on the screen. There we go. Try this again. It's what we call the Trendicator. And you can see it has red dots and it has green dots. There's some red dots there. Really all this is a 17 exponential moving average. You can make it any moving average you want. We just figured out a way to make it dots on TC2000. That's all. But truthfully, all this is and for me, it's a 17. Now, other traders, they use a different moving average. But for me, I just use the 17 here. Let's take a look at apps. It's too far gone, but it sure is looking pretty good. Needs a little rest. TAN is trying to break out. These are stocks coming up on the scanner. Check out MGA. That can't be right. Oh, it is right, yeah. MGA, nice consolidation here. We could end up with a candlestick pattern. It's in the Morningstar family. That's very possible there. Oh, might be one I keep an eye on. Cal, you went long at 116. Great. Nice. CPRT. Way to go. Nice trade. Excellent. You're making some money. You're making some money. Kind of looks to me like it might go a little bit higher there. Let's see here. GE. Oh, long. Maybe. You know, I think what we have to consider is that right there. And so you know, it doesn't matter what another person thinks. What matters is how you plan to trade it. Things like that. Now, there are some people that do not use trend lines. In my earlier days, I never used a trend line. Hell, I didn't even know what a trend line was. Of course, nor did I make money either. I'm not saying that will make you money. I'm not saying that at all. But it is certainly something I use nowadays. I do like what it's done, getting to where it is. I do like all the price action here. I like that a lot. But for me, personally, it would have to break out and it would have to come back and test. So, again, that's just, that's one of my rules. That doesn't mean that it's yours or anybody else's rule. Just one of my rules. So, but overall, right now, I think it's doing a pretty good job there. Thanks, Malcolm. Malcolm just posted out. Appreciate you doing that, Malcolm. Malcolm just posted out a 14-day trial, free trial. I don't even think Ed asked for a credit card. So, sound gone. Testing 1, 2. Okay, it's working now. Let's see, let's see here. HZNP. Feel more comfortable by buying after on a pullback? Absolutely. So here's that chart we were just looking at. Here's our downtrend line. We broke out. See, we need a pullback to rest. Stop below the 50. That sounds like, for the most part, that sounds like a really, really good plan, A. I absolutely hear what you're saying. Yeah, pull back, and when we start to see buyers step in, well, that's when I would take a look at it. So we pull back, we pull back. You know, how many days do we pull back? I don't have the foggiest clue. We start to see those buyers step in, then that might be the clue to start buying there. Thank you, by the way. Thank you. Melinda, DKNG is not, it's not up right now. It's not up there right now. Melinda, if you still have a problem, please retype it down there and I'll watch for it, okay? All right, I think we fixed it up here. Hey, you know, if you think something is wrong with the screen, the first and foremost, I mean, absolutely the first thing that everybody should do is go up to the refresh and reload button up there and do it. It takes, what, 5 seconds to get it done? And that is the very first thing I would do. If sound goes out, I would do that. If you lose screen or if you think something is not working, I would do that. Just saying. Yeah, Malcolm starts at the bid and then walks it up using 5 or 10 cent intervals. See, and I got to tell you, I feel that I'm a fairly successful trader. Malcolm is a successful trader, and we have never in our lives talked about, do we buy at bid or do we buy at mid price or ask price or how we do that. And this is one of those things that as you become more successful in trading, you develop your own little style, your own little, where do you part your hair kind of a thing. Everybody parts their hair at a different spot. And some can't part your hair, okay? But the point is you have a choice to do it how you want. Malcolm just shared his way. Thank you. No, BB, I am not in solo. I was in solo, but I'm out of solo. As a member of Hit and Run Candlesticks, we offer a free app. Of course, you have to be a member, so I suppose it's not free then, is it? But what we do is we post everything in there. Like today, I posted that I bought Coke, and I also posted where my stop was going to be. And my plan right now will be to add to Coke at some point, if I can catch it. If I can't, then I can't. I won't worry about it. But if I can catch Coke, I'm going to add to it. And when I do that, we will post that in the app, and you get it instantly. What we're doing here. Once Coke starts moving up, I'm a fairly positive guy, as you can tell here. Once it starts moving up, what we will do, I don't want to move that stop, so I'm creating another one here. What we will do is adjust that stop up a little bit as it starts to move up. And then as it starts to break out, that's actually where we start to take profits on that. The point is we do, solo. You would have known that I closed solo out using the app or by having that app. Let's see here. How did you determine to follow the 17? Stacy, that is a super, super good question. And, the 17, the 20, the 34, the 50, the 8, the 13, the 17, the 18, the 21, the 22. You know, there's not a one of them actually better than the other, okay, for trading. It really is not. What it is you developing a let's see here, there we go. You developing your system. Excuse me, your system. So Stacy's system. That's what it is. And in Stacy's system, Stacy would have couple of conditions that you like, okay? So when I look at a trade, I have conditions, and it has to meet this condition, has to meet this condition, has to meet this condition. Now, they don't always meet the fourth or fifth condition. They don't always. But I need some positive conditions, and it's all about my system. And so it's not that the 17 is brilliant. It's not. It's no more brilliant than the 21. It's what it is creating this world, and you will only trade inside that world. That's it. And for me, my world is I want the 17 trending. That's my world. The T-line I discovered years ago, and that has been my world ever since. The 3 exponential, I like it in a trend. You know, I like it to be above the T-line, but really the only thing it's really used for is the trap. So when we created the trap, the 3 became part of our world. So that's our world right there. Now, there's traders in here that may set up their own trap, let's say, and their trap might be the 20 period moving average. So they're taking a 20 period moving average that's trending, and they've put a faster moving average on top of it, and their trap is price in between. So whoever did that, they just created their trading world, and they're trading inside their world, okay? And their conditions are met. So it's not that the 17 is magic. The 17 is simply in my world that I've created. That's all. I hope that made sense. You ask a very good question in here, and that could be, this topic could be a very long topic, and you know, maybe everybody's sharing what their world is. Here's one thing I have found, that say you've got a chart where it's all over the board. You know, a chart is up here, price is here, price is here, price is here, price is here. If nothing correlates in there, to me, that's the world's worst thing to do. You're chasing crap all over the place. Now, what all that might have in common, for me anyway, is, I'm just going to use same color here, is maybe here the 3 is above the 8 and the 8 is above the 17. And if that's the case with all those, that's the one thing that they'll have in common, and that would make them in my world. Okay? Right there. So I'm looking for charts basically that are above the 17 trending, and have relaxed or rested into that area like this. And when they do, that's when I go shopping. That's my world right there. Great question. Thank you, Stacy. I hope I explained it. And if you have further questions, just let me know, okay? BHC. Oh, and another thing too. This is nice chart. I'm gonna flag that. Excuse me. Thanks. I'm gonna flag that. So here's here's what I do, okay? It's kind of rare for somebody to put a chart out like this and I buy. Now, I say kind of rare, but I do it, okay? What I'm more likely to do is put this on the scanner and then wait patiently for the scanner to tell me it's moving. And it's part of a routine. I think having a routine is very, very important. And the scanner is a big part of my routine. And when that happens, then a couple of things will happen here. Is I like this chart because this fits in my trading world. The 3's above the 8 and the 8's above the 17, and we're in the trap. I also see a bullish engulf. I see a rest. I see follow through. I see a Morningstar type chart pattern. I see a breakout here. I like that chart, but I'm going to be patient because my routine is to wait till it shows up on the scanner. Now, sometimes I pay a little higher, but that's okay. It's not the entry that makes you money. It's what the chart can do for you that makes you money. Okay? So make it a routine. The scanner is part of my routine. Like this GTHX, I see it moving. I can see that it's on this alert, so that tells me it's in the 3/8 trap. I know it because it's on the alert. I know that my fast trend is working. That 3, 8, 17. I know that's in place. So I go look at it, and now I make the decision whether I want to buy it based on the chart pattern, using my eyes. The scanner does not tell me to buy it. I tell me to buy it. Okay? I can see PIN. PIN is moving up higher now. Nice. I'm already up 3.5% on PIN. Go PIN. What else do we have here? Let's see. Do you use the 17 for direction? Yes, P-Man. Yes. I want it trending up. Yes. Thank you, Djern. Appreciate it. Yeah, Malcolm. I appreciate Malcolm. Malcolm shares a few things with me, a little on the private side. And I got to tell you, Malcolm, they need to lengthen the baseball field. He hits the ball out of the park a couple of times. A lot, actually. And I don't mean 200% movers or even 100% movers. In fact, I don't know that I recall him ever posting, I made 100% on this one, that one, and the other one. But anyway, yeah, LTA rocks. Let's see, Stacy, I've been using the 21 EMA for years, so we'll stick. And Stacy, I totally agree with you. Totally. And the reality is, what would be the big difference between the 17 and the 21? And I would argue nothing. I totally agree with you to stick with it and dial in what you're doing. Absolutely dial in. That is fantastic what you're doing there. And I think the 21 is top notch for that, by the way. Hey, I see Coke is moving up. I can see that because the scanner is telling me that it's popping up a little bit. The 3-bar chart is starting to look pretty good. That's the scan alert that it's showing up on. Look at that. Look how we came back down to that trend line, a bullish engulf. We rallied up, and now we're trying to put in a little 3-bar trap right now. That's looking good. What is the trap I speak of? Paul, man, excuse me. I got this itchy throat today. The trap is when, let me see if I can draw this out. Okay, let's do pen. Let me try it with a pen. We'll try some artwork here. So I'm going to go green. That's the 17 exponential, okay? We're going to go black, and that's going to be the 8 exponential moving average. So I'm just showing you part of my strategy, right? Now we're going to change the 3 exponential. It's traveling up here too. When it rises and then starts to maybe flatten out or come down, and then inside here we might have price, right? There, let's put one more green one. We probably should put a red one. There we go. Let's put another green one, and maybe let's do this. Let's get right up there. So price runs up, and then price starts moving back down, resting. Okay. Let's just pretend my lines are extended a little bit. So when I start seeing price come in like this, trapped in this area, that's my sweet spot. So the beauty of this is we already have a trend. The trend is the way to go. Somebody that doesn't trade with a trend, you're missing a boat. Trade with a trend. Just try it. Trade with a trend. And then what we want is priced to show some strength and then rest. We rest inside this trap area here. My stop is somewhere in this area, okay? I can't, I mean, I don't know where it's going to be on this. This is just art. My stop is somewhere in this area, which I can guarantee you it's never going to be below the 17. That would be so rare. So the stop here, and the reward is humongous. It really is. I mean, it's where can we go? If we're at all-time new highs, the reward could be way up there. Maybe the reward is up to where, let's use that candle right there, where resistance is. So all it is a trading system where you buy in this confined area. We call it the trap. If it went below the trap, well, you wouldn't like the trade, so you'd be stopped out. Starts moving above the trap, that would be very positive, and you'd be making money. The same thing works going down as well. It's just these lines are below the 17. That's what it is. Thanks for asking there, Paul. Thanks, Stu. Yeah, you know, yeah. BHC. So Stu put that BHC out, and I loved it. I mean, there's no reason why not. And Paul, see here, the 17, the 8 is trending. Here, I'll put the 3 up here for you. There you go. And see how we're trapped in that area? We're actually popping out right now. That, to me, that's a beautiful chart. And this is all this alerts in the scanner. You can set the scanner up to do a lot of things. The one thing I like it to do is the trap, but it does. It has every indicator you could possibly want. It's just a ton of stuff. I want to go peek at the SPY real quick. We need to be a little careful here. Today is not really acting that great, but it's not falling apart. One chart that I keep an eye on is FNGU. If FNGU stays strong, then the market is likely to follow along. It may fight, but if this stays strong, it will follow along. So I'm going to keep my eyes on this FNGU. I have this line here, this area, and all we did was box in that candle. And that's sort of a danger area. We could get up here and just fail. One more test and then boom down. Of course, we can always break out and run too. So, let's see. Yeah, Malcolm's long AMD. I was long a couple days ago, and it's starting to move up. And this is likely to be, I'm going to take a little money off the table on this today, just because I need to, well, collect some money. Let's see. Pete, what is the trigger buy signal? Great question, Pete. Now, again, everyone has their system. Everyone has their little quirks. Maybe, let's see, what did I just buy a little while ago? What was that? Pin? Yeah, pin. You know, the trigger buy. That interesting question, okay? If you were to get 1,000 traders and put them in a room, there could actually be 1,000 different answers. And those 1,000 different answers could be absolutely correct. It's not about the trigger is what you make it. What is it, your trading style? What is your system? What would trigger you to buy something? And until you know that, then you just haven't come full circle with trading yet. And I think it's important that every trader knows that. The trigger could be something like when it moves over yesterday's candle, maybe. That could be the trigger. The trigger could be maybe bouncing off the T-line and the first new day high in the 15-minute chart, maybe. That could be the trigger. The trigger could be a breakout. If you were to put a line on this and say, okay, I'm watching pin, and when pin breaks out of 79.53, I'm buying it. Things like that. The trigger is what you make it, all right? Let me share what I use, and it is by no means the perfect way to do it, although it is perfect for me. It is perfect for me. So I have the scanner up and running. This happens to be on my hot list. I have a hot list I keep, which is simply the charts I put out each day on YouTube. I put them into this hot list, and I wait for them to come to me. And I wait for the scanner the scanner will tell me when they come to me. So I've been watching, I've been watching. It's on the watch list. This morning I saw DKNG, but I held off because today has not been a great day in my opinion. I think today needs a lot of caution needs to be in today. So as I was coming here to this room, I saw it popping up, and I said, all right, I better get in before it gets too high, and then I couldn't get in. So what was my trigger? The stock is moving. I want it. I don't use a trigger like, well, it over yesterday's candle or over the 3 days or a 15-minute swoop and scoop. I don't know. The trigger is what you make it. And again, that's all about you developing a strategy for yourself, and you trade within that strategy. And if your strategy is, well, when I'm alerted that a stock breaks out of that high, or maybe breaks out of that high, or maybe puts a swoop and scoop. By the way, swoop and scoop has nothing to do with, I just made that up. If it could be anything. 15-minute chart, swoop and scoop, an hourly chart, swoop and scoop. It's what you make it. This is why we talk about a plan, and a plan is so important. I also want to point out that if you can't put your plan on a 3x5 index card, you've got too much junk on there. Too much junk. Pete, that I think somebody else asked a super great question today, and I think that was a super great question, because a lot of people, they're looking for this trigger, and the truth of it is, you can set a trigger up on the scanner, but if you don't have something to tell you that it's triggering, you'll chase charts from now to kingdom come. You'll never find them. If you luck upon them, then you have to make this instant choice. But at the meantime, you're flipping, looking for other ones. It's a nightmare. And the thing to do is simplify your trading. I hope that was a good answer for you. What defines the trigger in the trap? Price moving up, Paul. Price moving up. So if I see, let's take a look at RAD here. RAD's in the trap. Right now, this can be bought at any given time. You could buy it right now. That's the trigger. There is no, let's keep in mind too, I don't chase price. Honestly, I don't care whether I buy it right here or buy it lower. Buying it lower would not impress me. If somebody says, if we, at the end of the day, I say that I bought RAD and I bought it right here, and somebody came on touting that they bought RAD, let's don't use that line, let's use this one. Down here, that would not impress me one iota, because it's not the entry that matters. It's really not. What matters is you see this chart going higher. Do you see the chart going higher? And that's what you've got to ask yourself. You know, you come in here, we've broken out. We've broken out, so that's a positive thing. Can we see RAD retesting this high over here? What was that? December last year? Can you visualize that? I can. I can. So based on that, I see a trade possibility of about $23 here. So that's my world right there. I can tell you that, let me get rid of this right here. I can tell you that my stop would be, let's use another line. Well, let's move that one. I can tell you my stop is going to be in the neighborhood, well, just about today's low. So I've just set up a trade plan here. There we go. I'm going to get rid of this line. So I've got a chart that's run up. I've got a chart that's resting. If I chose to buy it right now, my stop would be 18. I round either up or down, mostly down. So my stop would be $18.30. If I chose not to buy this right now, then I would have it on the scanner. And if I saw RAD ticking away, I might come in here and buy it. And honestly, I might not get the entry till it's up here. And I'm okay with that. I see this as being the target area. I'll reevaluate the stop. I'll adjust it guaranteed. But if I bought it up higher, I'm still looking at 16%. And I am ecstatic over 16%. I'm jumping for joy over 16%. Okay? So again, it's about developing your strategy. And I understand that you know, to just pick it out of thin air is nearly impossible. This is why you visit websites. This is why you visit free webinars, and you know, you try to find what's working, and then you try to make it work for you. What I always tell people is take in everything you can, put it in a jar and shake it up, and then only use what you understand. If I showed you something here that you don't understand, then you cannot use it. You can only use what you understand. Once you understand it, then it makes sense. Like this trade for me, it makes perfectly sense. A nice trend up. We just recently broke out here. I think that's a positive note. We broke out and we're resting. To me, that's a hot stock. I like that look. I like that shape. I like everything about it. There's a couple things I don't like, and I'll bring those up in a minute. I like, if I was to buy it right now, I've planned out my stop. If I buy it up here, I would have to adjust that stop. I can't tell you where it's going to be because everything changes once price gets up here. I see the possibility of going to 23. That's my world. That's my plan. So my world on this trade is right there, just like that. And just in case anyone's wondering, I am not interested in making money above it. I'm not interested at all. Not at all. That usually comes to a surprise to a lot of people. What I don't like about it, it's had a pretty big parabolic run here. So, although I do like the chart pattern, I would like it to be another couple of days is what I would like. And in a couple of days, could be a week, I don't exactly how many, I don't know. But a few more days sideways or just sloppy movement, the T line will come up a little closer, and then that's when I'll be a little more interested in buying it right now. Is XME in a trend? Well, Bill, the thing of it is, I'm sorry, I keep putting this back on everybody. What is your definition of a trend? See, this is, man, I am trying so hard to get this point across. What one person thinks is garbage to what you think. What do you think? Is that a trend? Based on my rules, absolutely yes. You bet. You bet. That's a nice trend. That's a nice chart. We're having a pullback. All I need to see is buyers, and I would be tickled. Look at the support we have. A low, a low, a low, a low, a low, a low. That's good support. I like that. Again, all I need to see is buyers. And see, this is where the scanner comes in for me. This is great. So if I see the scanner, and again, the scanner's not all about the trap. You can make it whatever you want. I just like this. The scanner has a full menu in it. I'm choosing this off my menu. That's what I'm choosing. So I have it set up to make new day highs. When I see one of my alert windows, and I definitely have more than one, when I see one of my alert windows giving me a new day high, so let's do this, and I might not even buy it till it gets up here. Right there. That's where I may buy it. I know a lot of people, they want to buy it low. You want to buy it cheap. You know what? I want to buy a stock moving because they have a higher probability of continuing to move. That's one of the things I've learned out of my 34 years of trading. So, man, that is a super nice chart. I'm going to flag that, by the way, which it's already on my watch list. I know this. But I'm going to go ahead and flag it and just wait for that alert to start alerting me. Thank you. Let's see, Stu. VXX price pattern 1745. Yeah, that VXX is starting to pick up, isn't it? That's starting to make me a little nervous. I'm watching it over here on another screen. Nice price action. I have 1745 as support. Not buying it normally eats my lunch. Yeah, you don't have to buy VXX. VXX could be just a chart that gives you a warning sign maybe. And it is flashing some warning signs right now. Definitely flashing some warning signs. Rad earnings. Thank you. Thank you. Mark, let's see what's Mark saying. Are your stops end of day? I never stop out. Well, never. 99.9% of the time, I don't stop out to the end of the day because sometimes a candle will reverse intraday. Now, I have the ability of being here during the day. This is my job. This is what I do. So, I am here during the day, and I can work with that. So my stops are, I'll stop out at the end of the day. Yeah. And BB says red is a big fart. Thanks for that. From the 20-day simple. You are so correct. It is. The 20-day simple's got to be, well, here, I can put it up. Where's it at? Oh, there it is. Yeah. There's the 20-day simple right down there. You are very correct. It is. Now, let me share this with you. To me, I'm not sure that means a whole lot to me. I recognize it, and I'm looking at the 17, but I see the same thing you're seeing. Remember I said if it moves sideways a few more days, the T-line will catch up a little bit. The 17 will also catch up a little bit. The 20, probably not so much because it's not weighted up front. Part of my trading strategy is looking for chart patterns that have a tendency to move. That's what I trade, not so much how far away we are from the 20. Although, if we're too far away from the T-line, then we're on the exact same page. Okay? And I'm looking for the alert from the scanner. I'm looking for a little move up. I don't know if you guys know what a base hit is. A base hit is just when price moves up here. I'm tickled with that. I mean, I'm ecstatic. I'm excited. I've already told everybody that AMD, I'm going to take some money off the table. And it really hasn't gone anywhere. Well, I'm up a little over 9%. I'm happy with that. Now, I'm not going to close the whole thing. Well, I shouldn't say that till we get to the end of the day. But I am going to put some profits on the table because I know what my goals are to meet my bigger goal of doubling my account in 12 months. And I take base hits. So I'm very happy with a 9% or a 14% or a 20% or a 25%. I'm extremely happy with that. That is just my world. That is my my setup. That's my shtick right there. It's what I do. Doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's wrong. Somebody else could say, well, I'm holding AMD because I'm going to hold out for $100. And I'm just tickled for you too. And I hope it gets it. But my plan is to take profits off. So, but you're right. That rad, it is a bit far from the 20 period moving average. Yeah, Malcolm is pointing out that that FNGU, and I think somebody Vitali, FNGU. Yeah, I love this chart. I've never traded this chart in my life. Not ever have I placed a trade. I use this chart as a should I be bullish or should I be bearish or should I be sitting on my hands? Big tech. The market's not going, well, the market's going to go where the big tech goes. It's just the way it is nowadays. Hell, Apple is its own market. So what big tech does, market does. So I keep a close eye on this right here. Very close eye. Let's see, McDonald's. That is McDonald's, right? Yeah, McDonald's. Let's get rid of this. McDonald's has a doji gap up to the T-line. Looks like a buy to me. And BB, it looks like a buy to you. That's your system. It does not, however, look like a buy to me because it doesn't meet my system. Doesn't mean that I'm right or I'm wrong. It doesn't mean that you are right or you are wrong. If it meets your system, rock and roll. But me, one of the things I require is not to be in a downtrend, and it is in a downtrend. One other thing I require is I want the 3 EMA to be above the 8 EMA and the 8 EMA to be above the 17 EMA, and that is not the case here. So you may be absolutely correct if that's your trading style. But for me, that does not meet my trading style, does not meet my rules. Doesn't mean that it won't go. It just means it's not for me. Hope that helped. No, that was good. I like that. I like that typo, by the way. That was a good one. Yeah, good point, Malcolm. You see what Malcolm just wrote up there, you guys? Look, one person might be selling, one person is buying. It's all about your rules. I assure you, I make my money. I post my account statement online. You're welcome to go look at it. I'll guarantee you that Malcolm makes money. But we are trading the same chart in a different manner. And we're both happy and comfortable with what we do. So yeah, thank you, Malcolm. Good point. Thanks for bringing that out. What's the T-line? The T-line is the 8 exponential moving average. Years ago, when I did not create the 8 exponential moving average, however, I did create the T-line. That saved my bacon. I wouldn't be trading today if it wasn't for that. Yeah, I would not be trading today if it wasn't for that. It started me on this path of creating my own system. It was the start of that. And not worrying about what anyone else said. Now you may get stock ideas from somebody. You absolutely may do that and put them on a watch list, but until they meet your qualifiers, then I just don't think they can be traded till it meets your qualifiers. So anyway, the T-line is just the 8 exponential moving average. I tend to never buy long if we're below the T-line. I only wait till it's above the T-line. It's a big player in the trot. See, are the T-line and the Trendicator different? Yes, Stacy. The Trendicator, my Trendicator, what I use is just the 17 exponential moving average. The T-line is the 8 exponential. The T-line's always the 8. That never changes. There's people all over the world that use the T-line now, and it's always the 8 exponential moving average. But the Trendicator, I mean, for instance, let me get rid of that 20 right here. And by the way, there's scans in the scanner that looks for charts that cross over the Trendicator and pull back, things like that. Alerts in here where we're bouncing off the Trendicator. A lot of things like that. So let me show you here. So this is the 17. What I'm going to do is come down here and see the data source. I'm going to change this to, we'll change it to the 50, okay? The 50 period moving average. There it is right there. And there, that was the 50 period moving average. So all it is a moving average, but the beauty of it is you've got these red dots and green dots. I never trade long if I'm staring at red dots. So although we can see in hindsight that this chart rallied up here, I would never buy it down here. Just one of my rules. That's all. Just one of my rules. Let's go look at McDonald's. That chart may rock. It may, but I won't buy it till it turns green. Now we've got one green dot today. What I'm going to need is something more like this because I'm going to need it to break out. So what I'm going to need is for it to move up and come back and test. I'll guarantee you those dots will be green looking like that. And that is what I want to see. Dick just changed the color. No, uptrend green, downtrend red. ADI is coming up on your scanner. Okay. It seems to be shaping up. Yes, it does. If you look at it, put a stop at 139.40. 139.40. 139. Jeez, Rick, why don't I do it this way? Okay. Does that look correct, or would you put the stop higher? Now, Joe, see, this is one of those things. I'm going to tell you where I would put my stop. I'm for sure going to do that. But this is one of these things that you've got to design your own way. Okay. And I'll be glad to help you in the trading room. We'll have more time. I'll go over that. But I can tell you right now, my stop would probably be in the neighborhood at this moment of about 141.55 is where I would put it. But now you have to remember this. When I buy a stock, I better have a good feeling it's going up. By putting a stop here, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? It's just that I'm not willing to have this come back down and test. I'm just not willing to do that. I just do not want that to happen. And then now, on this chart here, by the way, I'm looking at and this is a nice chart. It is really nice. But I'm looking at all this price action here. Let's take a look at a monthly chart just for fun. We're reaching all-time new highs, right? So I'm thinking about this chart. I like that. How about we look at a buy up here rather than a buy here? What is so important about this chart that we've got to collect a little under 2%? What would be so important there? Does 2% mean that much? And to me, it's not. So what I would rather do is wait for it to break out. I'm going to put a buy box way over here because it's going to need to break out, and it's going to need to consolidate. And then I'm going to watch for that buy alert right there. And the scanner is going to tell me when all that happens. Anyway, that's the way I would look at it. But remember, you've got to figure out, and the only way for you to figure out is to ask these questions. I get it, okay? I truly get it. Man, I've asked a billion questions of traders. What is your criteria for a scanner you are looking for a price to cross the 17? Vitali? I have lots of criteria. Do you have the scanner, by the way? Let's start with that. And then I'll watch for your answer below. On the T-line, what setting is on the open, high, low? Mine's on the close or last price J. Bob H. Might be wrong to ask this, but could you describe how if the indexes fit in your trading plan? The only indexes I watch in this order are the SPY, the Qs. Let me back up. The SPY, I know FNGU is not an index, well, maybe it is, I guess. I watch that, and then I watch the Qs, and then I might peek at IWM, and last, I'll consider the diamonds. So, if the SPY is not trending, I am not long. It's real simple. Trade with the market. Trade with the market. And let's see here, i.e., I find a chart that fits my rules, but I don't enter because I'm predicting a pullback in the SPY. And you know what? I think you're right, Bob. I think you're right. I think the SPY is going to pull back. The problem is I don't know when, and I'm pretty confident you don't know when either. So is it going to be today, or is it going to be 30 days from now? Is it going to be 60 days from now? And when you say pullback, what does that mean? This pullback that we just had, do you mean that pullback, or do you mean price get back down here? The takeaway here is I don't think anyone can predict. You can't predict. You cannot predict. And if the market does if the bottom drops out of it 30 days from now, that means I've got 29 days to trade long. And I will not go long when the market says I won't go long. Not because I predict. Too much money I waste on the sidelines. I've tried that before. It doesn't seem to work. Now, I look at the market right now, and I'm nervous. So what I'm likely to do is start backing closer to cash. That's what I'm likely to do until the market squares itself away. But let's think about it this way. If you have made money, and let's count each one of these. Well, let's do it differently. If you made money here, if you made money there, and you made money there, if the market gives you a sell signal, it'll be something like this, right? So what's going to happen is you're going to lose money there. You've made it here, made it here, made it here. You've lost a little bit here. Welcome to trading. If you lost $100 here, but you made $100 here and $100 here and $100 here, you're up $200. So I hope, maybe I got a little sideways there. I hope that made sense, but I don't know how anyone can predict with time, and you need time in there. I predict the market's going to go down too. Just don't know when. That's the problem. All right, guys, I think my time is up. Ed's going to turn me off here. I've run out of quarters, and, well, the bed's not vibrating anymore. So I'm going to say goodbye here to everybody. Thank you very much for being here. The scanner, you want to take your step up in trading, you try the scanner out, okay? Thank you so much. Vitali, you never did answer me. Do you have the scanner? And I think you have my own. So what you're trying to do is copy what we're doing to your own scanner, which is cool, But that's all right. All right, folks, you guys all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. Be careful. Oh, here, let's take a look at this. Here's T2122. This is showing a very overbought situation, and you can see price coming down here, or that yellow line coming down. Be very careful with the market right now. We're in a very overbought position in the market. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you very much, Ed. You guys all take care. We'll see you later.